Hello and welcome to The Regulars. I'm Stacey Jason.
I'm Jason Ross.
Oh, yeah, killing it. We are back. Happy Monday, everyone.
Happy Monday. We're back in a big way.
We're back in a big way.
Big way.
And what big way is that for you, Jay?
I don't know. Whenever I hear we're back, it's from, I think it's from a Saturday Night Live sketch with Will Ferrell when he's doing the, I can't remember the band, but oh God, I'm already screwing this up. But he's like, we're back in a big way, baby.
Oh yeah.
Anyways,
that's us. We're back in a big way. We think we don't know. Please don't put that on us. But we are back. We took Friday off. We had some scheduling conflicts, and let me tell you.
And because we moved our year anniversary from the Wednesday to the Tuesday, it feels like a lifetime.
A lifetime. I want to thank Stephanie for really enabling my glasses obsession. She is loving my 70s frames here. Thank you so much. And happy Monday. We've got some soft days in the chat. We're going to firm them right up. I can tell you, I'm feeling good. In that I've been eating like crap for so many days in a row. And so today is the responsible day where we gotta buck up. We gotta work out.
It's Monday. You know, like when Thursdays start to get bad and then you're just like, okay, I'll go back, but I'll reset Monday. You just know like Monday's the new week. So like, that's the way I used to live. It was like, well, I fucked this week up. I guess I'll wait till next week to start whatever I was doing. Yeah. So today's the day.
Also, I just want to do a good shout out, and Jameson is already calling me out. Nice representation for my t-shirt today. This is a big shout out to spoiler, Drag Race UK. We know her, we love her. The reigning queen, Lawrence Chaney. Congratulations on a spectacular win, a wonderful reign, and I support you when we bow down, queen. We bow down.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. I mean, it's been out for a while. Like, I mean, if you were on social media, if you were a fan,
then you're in the know.
I just watched it this weekend. I was off Twitter. There was just no way. There was no way. But anyways, Lawrence won. We love.
I do.
Yeah. It does feel like we haven't been here for a while.
But now we're here. We're good, and we're going to try some new stuff today. We're going to try some fun stuff today, right?
We're going to try some new stuff. So we celebrated the year, and for Jason and I, full transparency, because we don't know anything else, people were unable to define what this podcast was.
Now we're not going to try to create a definition.
Yes,
it's going to be a little organic, but we're going to nudge it in some ways. And
we
see
were
what
like,
happens.
We as performers, we have to know in our minds what we're giving you for you to come back. And we've realized all we're giving is our personal chaos.
In the past, the process and the stuff that we put into it, like when we go to deliver you entertainment, shows, it's a lot of work. But not that this isn't a lot of work, but this is different because it's back end work, and we're just like, hey, do you want to do a podcast? Yeah, what do we do? I don't know, let's get on the microphones and talk about it.
And that's what we've been doing. We've been getting on the microphones and talking. Okay, now after watching the first episode, we were like, this provides nothing for the consumer.
It was born from nothing, and
that is the definition of every podcast. It was born of nothing.
You need to say that in that trailer voice. It was born of nothing.
Courtney is saying, like, I thought that was the point of this pod. It's fun and chaos and nonsense. Oh, for sure. And nothing will change. But we were like, would people want topics? Would people want themes? Would people want some just topics that are happening in the world to just sort of like at least bookmark a few chapters of the pod?
Yeah.
And so we were like, okay.
The answer might be a resounding no.
Oh, this is really funny. Jan, this is absolutely true. Jan goes, that's the tagline for the podcast. The regulars. A lot of back end work. Yeah. It's a lot of me refusing to ask for help and just going, this is too much.
Yeah.
So Jason and I have some things that we're just going to start maybe trying out. One of them might include Jason eating very hot food and me just watching it. I mean, potentially. I've been sending.
If we're doing that one, we're both doing that one.
I think Jenny's calling us out. She goes, "Oh, we can go through a whole branding exercise." Wow. No. Yeah, we were just like, oh, maybe we'll cover some fun stories. But I asked Jason before we were recording what he did this weekend. You can't remember.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because the weekend's been like, I don't know, like it's been a while since we've spoke. So like lots has happened, but also like what's happened?
Well, Jen says I would like a theme so that I can see how long the walk can go. And let me tell you, we're going to leave the city.
We're going to burn, we're going to burn 15,000 calories walking this.
Can I tell you also, Jenny, that I love branding exercises, and I feel a new invigoration for business this weekend. I really feel what? Go ahead.
That's crazy because I didn't know it ever left you. Like you're a walking businesswoman.
I'm a walking businesswoman with no business. Okay, so
I like to walk around the town in like a skirt just past your knees and an attaché case.
Okay.
This is not businesswoman with the 1984.
So I'm a Duggar with an attaché case. A skirt past my knees?
Yeah.
That's how you see me?
No, that's how I see a businesswoman.
A businesswoman with a skirt past her knees. What does a skirt look like?
Maybe they're called dresses.
Is there a different top in your mind?
I don't know. It's business.
In your mind, okay. In your mind, I want you to describe to me a businesswoman, and I'm gonna, and then I'll describe what I think. And I'm not saying you're wrong because mine's gonna be messed up too. But when you think of a businesswoman,
well, I don't think of something in general. I was just thinking of because now it feels like I'm put on the spot, and this is going to be genderizing something, and I'm going to get knocked out no matter what.
No.
But like, what do I see as a? See, here we go. Oof, Jason and women stuff. I'm already in trouble.
No, I just think it's so funny.
I was picturing like a lady from like probably like a 1984 commercial walking around being like, I'm on my way to get to the business. So it's like you see them walking down the street. They've probably got like a nice, I don't want to call it a trench coat, but like a full length coat and like in a skirt that's like, skirt's the wrong word, but I don't know what.
A pencil skirt? You don't think of like a flowing, like we're not allowed to dance for the love of God, like kind of stuff.
Sure, and then blazer and a shirt, and then getting to work with their attaché case. That's what I was going for.
You can't say milk, but you can say attaché case. So for that, wow.
You can also say Ragnarok.
Right, I'll never forget that.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think they were singing about in that song? Short skirt, long jacket. It was a businesswoman. It's about a businesswoman.
Yeah. Listen, I only view when I think of like a successful businesswoman, when I get inspired, it's like 80s. It's like pencil skirt, high heel, camel coat, like long, cigarette, holding a huge cell phone going, I don't care, Rick, make it work. And then kicking a cab and then getting in.
So you see like Meryl Streep, sort of.
Yeah, or maybe Diane Keaton baby boom, who's a bit, Diane Keaton, yeah. Jen says, I'm a businesswoman, and today I'm wearing skinny jeans, knockoff Blundstones, and a button-up blouse. It's the blouse that makes it business. That's awesome.
It's all business.
It's all business. So I am I feel like I was really inspired by Seth Rogen's business, and I'm just like, that brings him joy. It brings me joy in many ways. And very much in the Baby Boom. Baby Boom's such a good movie. Love Diane Keaton, Baby Boom. It's so good.
On the Discord, someone put out, what was it to this weekend? I believe it was Haley that put it out there. She was watching, it was like one of these American Pie style movies from like the early 2000s, but I'd never seen it before, called like Squeecher. I'm not going to say what it is.
I hated that you said that. I just want to put that out there. Squeecher. Ew, don't say that ever again.
I can't remember what it was called.
Slackers.
Well, that makes a lot more sense than Squeechers.
That's a good movie. Slackers is great.
I've never seen it, of course.
Oh, you should. You need to see that. Danielle's coming in with what she considers business: attaché case, long skirt, shoulder pads, blouse. Shoulder pads.
Not far from what I was saying.
Exactly.
Thanks, Danielle.
Yeah, we're all on the same page here. I'm feeling inspired. I'm loving the Seth Rogen of it all. I know he's a millionaire. It's hard to think about starting a business when you have how do you put it? No money.
Yep.
Tough. And when you read the Ontario guidelines to a business and they say, "Hey, where's your funding?" and you go, "Oof, is there
Do you know what our next filmed sketch should be? It should be us earnestly going into a bank and trying to get a loan.
That's going to be dark. It's going to be dark. That's going to be dark. The thing is, you know what you need? Like, I would say we would be the creatives. We'd be like, we have this idea. This is sort of the vibe. This is what we're thinking. And then someone goes like, but then we need a friend or a business partner who's like, with the attaché. Okay. We have the shoulder pads. They have to have the attaché. And we don't know anyone like that.
Maybe we'll go with like, I feel like Audrey and Danny could probably walk in there and
yeah, but
talk
they don't
shit
want
to those guys.
They don't want to. They're busy.
Yeah, that's true.
They're busy.
We need one person that's all business to come in there. It will be a tough time for you because we will squash every idea you put out there because it'll be like, well, they need money because of, no, not exactly because of that. What we want to do is we want to build a large water. Was a water slide a good idea to get into the?
Okay.
No.
So
okay.
I know we had all gotten on the same page, but Jay and I were in an Uber getting here. And hear us out. What's your name? Angela? We love the bank. We love you.
Nice blouse and shoulder pads.
Yes, very baby boom. Don't you love baby boom, Angela? You know what it is? It was such a beautiful time weekend. Wow. Here in Toronto, where I was just like walking the dogs. And I took the dogs for like close to a 2-hour walk, which is like, that's wild sauce, .ca.
How far do you think you got?
I think if like I could have like mapped it, it would have just been me in like chaotic, like an infinity circle, just like laughing. I just saw all these nice homes and I was like, that's it. I want to be rich. I'm done. I want a huge house. I want one of these houses. I'm done. How do we get there? Just go
knock on the door and be like, how did you get here?
How did you get here? What Angela at what bank did you talk to? Because I'm looking for a bank loan.
We were talking to Angela and we did not get the outcome we desired.
It's our fault because we did start with Waterslide first, and what we wanted to start with was a t-shirt company.
Yeah. Background? No background in either of those things. But
no, none. Well, yeah, but I mean, yeah, there's something about it, and Jenny had brought up earlier today that it is Aries season, which is a really like big season in my horoscope. It's saying Aries season is it. So I'm excited for like things to get going because I feel like I'm a horse like just waiting at the gate to start running. You know, I need something.
Like a carrot?
Yeah, I need a money carrot. Jen goes, a townhouse in my complex is going for $900,000 in Toronto. The market is nuts. It's doubled in value over 5 years. Oh, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's weird because like a lot of places in the States have got hit. It's funny because we were having this conversation yesterday about just like buying houses with our neighbor who's like, I'm moving to New Mexico. Albuquerque's where it's at. And you can get like a beautiful big house for like $300,000 to $400,000. And I was like, great. We're living in LA where it takes over $1 million to get a shack.
I mean, if I can be honest, like I love the city so much. Like I love it. But I definitely am like, you know, considering the options of leaving it. But then I'm like, then you have to make friends and you have to.
Not happening.
Not happening. Like also, yeah. I mean, in this economy. But yeah, it's just like, but that's what people are talking about. Like there's a lot of questions about Guelph, Ontario being really cool.
Here's the answer. No. Here's the answer. No way. Not happening. False.
Okay.
I know a lot of people love it, but a lot of people, for those of you who don't know, Guelph actually houses, I think, is it just the one university or two universities? So it's like, it's a place where it's like, some people have fond memories because they're like, oh no, actually Guelph's pretty cool. But I'm like, you just went to college there and you love it because you
well, Cindy's going, there. What's the suburb of a suburb, you know? Because she wants to move there. I think that's a lot of like, I'm curious what people listening and also in the chat think. Are you thinking about, am I the only one thinking about like new businesses or a career change?
Everybody is. They have to be.
I know, but I just want to normalize those conversations because you feel nuts. Like you feel like because you made this decision before that you were going to be blank and you were going to live blank, it's like then you feel like you have to stay there. See, Patrick's like Guelph thinks it's so underrated. Everyone's talking about Guelph. But see, Jen's like, I want to change careers.
Yeah.
But like, why is there shame about that? Or maybe I just like love to be anxious. So I'm like, oh, it's, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's shame or if it's like, that's got to be a difficult thing to do because then like you have to not just.
Whoa, Rob's doing this. Is this true, Rob, or is this a joke? He says we're 100% closing the shop and moving to Guelph in the fall. Is this true?
Do you know what's really weird about this? For some reason, when you said Guelph, I was like, the first name that popped into my head was Rob Lewin.
Really? Is he doing that?
Not lying.
Rob.
But I had no idea he was doing that. I don't even know why. I was like,
crazy.
Robbie Lewin's doing that. Maybe it's, yeah, I don't know. I think because he's probably at the making box a bit. So maybe that's why.
Oh, cool. Well, Rob, that's really exciting. And did you buy a house? Now it's just talking to Rob exclusively. Did you buy a house, Rob? No, but
we're trying to rebrand today, guys. It's called Talking to Robbie Lewin.
Today's episode should be called The Regulars, The Rebrand, but it's just the same, but we had intentions of trying new things.
Which is still the same.
It's still the same.
This is the episode we're going to show Angela at the bank.
Yes, Angela. And again, we're sorry we stopped talking to you for 15 minutes. We were just doing a bit of an inside joke. So...
And that's why I prefer pancakes over waffles. Was that a long walk? Was that a long walk? I guess so.
Yeah. But what my thing is, it's like... I feel like everyone's thinking about career changes. I'm interested because I'm nosy, but I'm interested as to like, is that because of isolation? Is that because of like...
That's definitely a big factor.
Yeah. And is it also because we're now so aware of our patterning, like what our day to day looks like? And like now we have time to reflect on that without the noise of like going on dates.
Going to work every day.
Leaving your house. Like you're stuck there and this is what it is. But yeah, it's wondering. It's interesting.
Well, you already know my hangups with everything, but it's always the age thing. But it's like, how do you change careers when you're like, oh, great, I got to start at the bottom rung and be like, great. By the time I'm 78, I'll be at the top, baby.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
So you got to worry about that. But
well, the thing is, it's like I love performing. I love comedy. Like it's just the most fun in all of the land.
That's how I'm alive.
Yeah, exactly. But I also find so much frustration in the lack of stability and the fact that like we just have to embrace that it's not consistent work. And it's like I have life goals that I would love. I would love a cottage. And it's not just monetary. It's like I would love to have the life of like my friends and going like having time together, not having to worry about a restaurant bill, you know, like there's little things I
not
would
have
like
a map about the $5 ATM machines. Yeah, we know.
I wouldn't, you know, it would be nice to have a year where I don't have the Subway sub of the day memorized because it's $5.
$5 foot long. They had to change quick once Jared came out there like, well, we got to come up with a commercial very fast.
I bet you Subway was like, we need to change our name to not Subway. Okay, it's called...
What do we call it? Let's brainstorm here. Fuck Jared. No. That's a little too close.
Quick Sammys. Quick sandwiches. The long and short of it. The long and short of it. Jameson says, my life and career is a bit like watching Lost. I'm in too deep to stop, and I need to know how it all ends, no matter how stupid things get.
Well, we all know that it doesn't end well.
It was all a dream, maybe?
Here's the thing. Never seen an episode of Lost, but I already know the last season sucks, so I'm out. I'm not gonna sit through that ride.
I appreciate Jenny thinking of me. She goes, Stacey, you'd be great on an employee engagement team for sure. At a startup, we could find you a nice little salary where you get to help people have fun every day. Oh my God. What I would give to just have an office where people come in and go, can we talk? And I go, get in here. What is happening? Angela, listen, if people are going off track in your bank meetings, shut it down. You're a queen. What's happening here?
I feel like this is human resources, but just in a weird way.
Oh my God, me dealing
with
I gotta
talk to you. Dennis, he said something pretty inappropriate. Come on in. We'll have a good time. We'll go to a bar. We'll figure it out.
Dennis, what'd you say? No, I just, that would be such a fun job where I'm just like, I just pump people up. Just want them to feel good.
Yeah.
You know?
He made fun of your son? Well.
Okay, well, which one?
Yeah.
Which one?
Because if it's David, then.
Is David,
that was on you for naming him David for one.
Listen, here's the thing. David's 13, but, he keeps talking about a saxophone and he won't take off the fedora. So, Yeah. No, I would love that. That'd be so great. I mean, yeah, it's an interesting time though. Like, I just think it's like, you just sort of like feel, not even that I'm changing careers, but you feel guilty or like you couldn't crack it or you couldn't make it if you're thinking about other things that interest you. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, all the time.
Patrick's calling me out. What Stacey would really do in those meetings is just say, the zoo, I can't.
Yeah, except I'd be on the other end of the table being like, I think a retreat would be great for us. You guys want to go to the zoo for a day?
And we're not going to the zoo. And we're not going to the zoo.
I'm just putting it out there. They have a deal on.
Hey, team, I don't want to be rude, but do we feel like maybe we should be this high to give suggestions? Just a height requirement for talking here? Jason, thank you.
First it's ageism, now it's heightism. And me and Stacey are the same height, so same height.
But the height requirement only accounts for you. And then the whole team has to listen to us fight about being 5'7".
Anyways, Angela, that's what we want the loan for.
Stephanie goes, it's also hard to feel like you haven't wasted time. And here, this is a huge thing that I'm battling. It's like, you haven't wasted time.
No, you live your life.
You've lived your life. Exactly. So it's like, if you do have a career change or you do make a change, it's like you're bringing those those past years of experience to the new gig. But I understand the shame that you've wasted your life that we put on ourselves,
Also, Amanda's living a different life. She changed her major a year ago and felt both excited and guilty, but figured out what I wanted to do. That's great. But if you're changing a major, you've got some more changes coming too. They're all, it's.
Someone's like, I finally have the courage to change my major. And Jason's like, well, life's a fucking shit pit. So guess what?
Yeah, I'm a piece of garbage. Because I was like, no, what I'm saying though is like, Amanda, that's great. That's awesome that you've figured that out and you'll love it. And then there's going to be like, you're so young. You got a whole life to live. It's going to be so exciting. You got a whole book to write.
Yeah. I think it was, Jen here was like, I also want to be a business manager for a big influencer. That would be a sweet gig.
No problem.
Oh yeah. That bad.
I think I told this story once before. Oh, never mind.
No, you can say it. I'm just going to say, Cindy says, I thought that I wanted the 9-to-5 office life. And now that I'm here, I kind of really hate it. I need more flexibility. But I feel like you have to sort of jump into what you think you want to understand what you don't. There's good and bad that goes with everything.
Flexibility also normally comes with a lot of insecurity. So.
Oh my God. I mean, I'm riddled with it. I am just not.
Unless you know about the job that we don't know about. Perfectly flexible, but also like fully secure, that would be insane.
And Haley's saying, I feel like I wasted a bunch of time living in Vegas serving, but you just cure people's skills. It's not a waste. It really just is not.
It makes you who you are.
Exactly.
Also, like you had that time in Vegas. Like I'm sure
That's awesome.
I'm sure there was like terrible serving stories, and I'm sure there was awesome partying stories. And
this is coming from a hypocrite who doesn't take their own advice, but it's interesting talking to my friends where I'm like, I feel like I'm behind. I feel like you guys are growing up and I'm regressing. Like when you have those kind of conversations, it's like the way that they also look at my life is like they're like looking at it going, oh, I wish I could, or I wish I had, so everyone's kind of looking at everyone wanting something.
Yeah. Also, Amanda, 28 still tracks. You got a whole chapter. You got a whole book to write in front of you.
Oh my God, 28, such a fun year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But it is interesting because I feel like everyone's in this moment. And I just wonder, like, how many changes are, like, how many people are finding their passion. That's what I'm obsessed with. When, like, people find the thing that they really want to do. And then I get jealous because I'm like, well, what the hell?
Yeah. And Shayla's jumping in hot. We're all the rulista.
Oh my God.
I can't say it. I'm not going to even try to say that one.
If you can say Ragnarok and attaché, you can say the rulatista.
Rulatista.
What did you say before?
I missed a T is what happened.
Yeah, you certainly. I'm glad that you caught it. As long as we're self-aware, we can proceed. Jenny goes, Stacey, I was having this conversation just the other day. I feel like I'm so behind because my friends are so ahead, but they started so far ahead that we can't really compare. And I disagree about the so far ahead. Like, I'm sure they look at like where you're at and they're wanting to pick and take some of the aspects of how you're living. You know, you've got like you own so many businesses. Like, I look at that and I'm like, oh my God, that's so great. I love that.
Yeah.
You know,
people don't realize what they've already gotten, what they've already accomplished sometimes.
Do you realize that, Jason?
Anyways, we're moving on to Haley here. Haley, I'm gonna. I know that this isn't a true call out, but like, I think people do this to themselves. She's like, true. Maybe I need to write a book. Haha. You joke about things when you become actually vulnerable, and you're like, it's a defense mechanism. Don't say ha. I think Haley does want to write a book, and I think Haley should write a book.
Yeah, exactly. It's really scary. Patrick says, I felt like leaving an office job for a restaurant was a huge step back, but I work a couple of nights a week and at that, and I have time to do what I love. So it's like not a step back. I totally agree.
And I had an office job at one point in my life. Like for years, I was working as a media planner, which was Billy Crystal's job in City Slickers, and that's what I was doing. And
don't you ever fucking reference City Slickers again, even though I like that movie. I do not want it here on this podcast.
It's an okay movie.
It's actually okay. And the sequels, not bad. They have fun.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Daniel Stern,
but like,
not bad.
I left that when I was like 26 or 27. Like,
oh yeah,
and then jumped into this, and I went in and I was like, I'm out of here. This is so great. And then you start understudying. You're like, oh, $75 a week. Okay.
Well, I think the thing is, we all think about like, oh, what would that ideal job look like? You know, like I honestly, like, I love comedy so much. I also have an equal passion in like branding and business and blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And, but I know if I were to be like really invest in that, at one point it's going to actually also become a job, much like performing became a job. Does that make sense? Like when you want to, like at some point everything becomes a job and you become a little disenchanted with the overall idea, but like don't forget about the passion. Is that?
Yeah, 100%. The people that do the best at it are the people that are like, I'm not doing this for money. I'm not like jumping in and being, especially if it's a creative aspiration. You don't jump in and go, well, I'm going to shape myself towards this. They go like this and they go, the world will shape itself towards what I want to do.
Sorry, this is hilarious. Eating giant subs and biking hard. Can that be the name of my memoir? Rob, will you but give me that? Crystal says, I also feel like I'm behind. I see people my age buying houses, getting married, and finishing grad school. It makes me feel like I'm stuck. You're not stuck. Like, oh my God. Like, I just think about my life, which I'm happy to put out there, but it's like I was married. Like, I was like, this is it. Like, this is happening. And it's like, when you're in it, it might look like ticks on the life board, but it just like, it does, it didn't work out. Like, you have, and for a while I was like, oh, I've messed up. That was my chance. It's like, yeah, but would you rather an authentic life than like, you know what I mean? Than like the image of being stuck?
I feel like we all struggle with the balance of what instant gratification versus delayed gratification. It's like, yes, you have to be thinking about your future, but like also make sure that you're happy within it. You don't just check other people's boxes and do what they want to get to you to do things in your life, because you will find that there's things in your life you do because you think you're supposed to be doing that, or you convince yourself that that's what you want because other people are like, oh, that's what you should want to be doing, and you're like, yeah, that's what I do love that. And then you find out that's not actually what you love.
But that's really hard to fight, right? Like when I got divorced, like even like there were expectations from my family that I would never have kids, that what was I going to do now? Now I was in my 30s, like, oh my God, like there is that expectation. So it's really hard to maintain and like this is like,
Yeah.
but to stay true to yourself. So I fall victim to the comparison game all the time. Like Megan said, people made me feel so old for finishing my master's at 26, which is
Jesus
wild to me.
Christ.
Turns out they were fools because I was so young.
But
Oh,
you also
yeah.
have to realize a lot of those people are also like 26 and 28 or whatever that are they're probably your friends in similar ages to you. They haven't got life figured out more than you've got
No.
life figured out.
It's so true. Jan says
That's
this.
the other thing too that people I don't realize. It's like other people's opinions, they're just as dumb as you are in the sense of like,
Oh, yeah.
they only know what they've lived and experienced at the same time. So it's like, they can be wrong.
Also, I mean, I'll put ourselves out there first. It's like, how many times have you projected your bullshit onto someone else because you're either jealous, insecure, scared to make the change yourself? Like, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
And thus, like, other people are guilty of that,
Yeah.
Yeah. Claire goes, I only went to grad school because I wasn't ready to join the real world. And now we're hiring people for the same position I'm in that just have their bachelor's.
Of course. Yeah. The world
That's
changes
wild.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was like Jim Carrey has a famous story about his dad being like that he worked I think it's either Jim Carrey or Mike Myers because I can't remember. It's a Canadian comedian that was just outside of Toronto and talked about like how his father wanted to be a comedian as well. But like, no, it worked because he's like, I gotta work. And then like eventually got fired from a job that he didn't even like doing. He's like, well, I could have just been doing what I wanted to be doing and not got fired and been stuck in the exact same spot as if I tried to be a comedian and failed.
Yeah,
but if I tried to be a comedian.
I disagree with that. I feel like maybe this is, I don't know, but it's like, I feel like you find the opportunities when you find them. Like, like when people find comedy, like when they used to be an accountant or like you were in advertising, like I think all of those experiences just make you a better artist where it's like,
yes.
if you were,
but he went through his whole life and never got to get into it because he did it.
Right.
And then at the end he realized. I also heard like it was either I think it was like a Yale prof or something say sort of a similar thing of like, you can go through and you can fail at things that you hate and then or you can even succeed and it's like, but where did you get to? Where it's like if you just follow your passion and you don't worry about the financial, sometimes the financial will come along with it. So like
I disagree with that. I think that's kind of bullshit because it's like,
sure.
You know what? Follow your passion and money doesn't matter. Like you see that all over Instagram. It's like, okay, you know what, Janine? It does matter because rent is due every month. So it's like, you can't just, and that's the reality.
I get that it's also like from a place, it just sounds like such a privileged conversation because it's like, yeah, just go follow your dreams, man, and then things will follow.
We're not saying that.
No, but I'm saying these conversations can lead to that too because it's like, no, there's also people that are like, no, I gotta help my parents pay the rent. Like,
well, why are we all looking at where we live and go like, do I need to be here? Like, I love it, but I'm paying an astronomical amount in rent to not be happy, like to not afford life.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're all sitting here going, I wish I could, I wish we should, I wish we did. And it's like, but we didn't because we didn't have the money or the whatever. So I struggle with that because I
also we're talking like the way we're talking right now, it's like, oh, there's all these regret. I don't have a lot of regret. Like there's
no, but I think I'm not talking about regret. I'm talking about you're sitting here going like, I feel I need a change. Yeah. I feel things need to be different. And there's shame and like weirdness associated with that often. What? I thought you were grabbing a thing.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, there's Shayla also put, I hate those inspirational podcasts. They're like, quit your job and just do it. Okay, you're going to pay my bills?
Exactly.
Yeah, there's the immediate and then there's like that's what we talk about. There's that balance between like delayed and instant gratification. Like, what do I need for my future? What do I need now? Maybe that's not the same thing, but.
Jenny says this. It's also important to remember what's important to you. Owning a home isn't important to me, so I'm not stressed about being able to afford one, but it's number one on so many of my close pals' lists. That is so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and Jameson is saying, this is some primo Monday, let's attack this week / life stuff. And Jenny comes back in with, it's Aries season, baby.
Well, I mean, we could jump into the couple of things we've prepared for today, or is that just
Well, no, I feel
not
like
what we
we're
do.
talking about, like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming in from the chat where it's Crystal saying, I do feel like I need a change, but telling my mom that I want to move out of town is difficult for me. She'll make me feel guilty. That's the thing. I remember my therapist said this to me once, and it's really stuck with me. And maybe it won't for others, but she was like, when you are changing, like just as much as you expect behaviors from people in your life, they are expecting behaviors from you. Like
Yep.
they have expectations, like you have expectations. And when you change or when you set boundaries or when you evolve, there is going to be at times some friction because everyone's like, but that's not how you were. That's not my expectation. And that's
Also,
really difficult to navigate.
yeah, and in a very similar sense, almost the same thing. It's like when you change your life, you are changing their lives too, and
Ask for that.
they didn't ask for that. They had no intentions of that, so they have to all of a sudden be thrown and be like, I need to transfer what I'm doing then too. But like it works out. So Crystal, if you're actually worried about that, it works out. They'll adjust and they'll figure it out. I shouldn't say that because then it's like 10 years from now. Because they'll be like,
No,
no,
because
I'm never talk to me again. Thanks a lot, Jason. Fuck yourself.
that does
But
happen.
yeah.
I mean, listen, like I've definitely lost relationships. I've definitely lost, that because change requires acceptance from the people around you that are watching you change. And that's not always like they'll come around. But I can at least say that I feel authentic in my relationships with those people and that the boundaries that I've placed there are helpful to me. So if you're not happy, don't do something for your mom or their expectations because years down the line, you're going to make the change anyway because it's certainly not authentic now and it won't be later is my 2 cents.
Yeah,
I think.
I agree.
You know what I mean? You know, and unrelated, Megan says or was it Megan? Claire. I need to talk about Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League. Isn't it like 4 hours?
It's 4 hours and a bit.
I would never.
Although, like, so right away, I was like, never in my life. Although, how often do you watch 4 hours of TV? It can happen when you're binging stuff.
Sure.
But now I'm seeing on Facebook a couple of people being like, "No, it's good. You need to see this movie." You're not gonna watch it. I
Doubt
know
it.
you're not gonna watch it.
No, give me a break. The audacity of someone going, this film needs to be 4 hours is just way
It's
too
a film that already came out too, if I'm not mistaken. Like I know the cut's very different, but it's like the 2 hour movie came out, and then Zack Snyder's like, "Nope, sucks." And maybe I'm wrong because I'm only like I haven't been following this, but he's like, "Nope, want my director's cut out," and he put a director's cut out that was 4 hours long. So there's still some of the old movie in it, but apparently it's a completely different feel, plot line, like so
I
much
just
changes with the
remember
cut.
when we watched Palm Springs and we all were so
So
happy
amazing.
that it was an hour and a half. And I just
But also a
think,
very good movie.
very good. But I just think there's something really lovely about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
Do you remember the 80s when everything was an hour and a half? 2
yeah.
hours was almost unheard of. You're like, whoa, that's a long one.
2 hours is like the wedding speech where you're like, wrap it up.
Yeah, it's like when that Jurassic Park came on, they're like, oh my God, it's 2 fucking hours, but it's awesome.
Jurassic Park is so good. Yeah, so I haven't watched the Zack Snyder cut, and I don't think I'm the one that anyone
I don't
would
think
be
you watched the
looking
first
to.
one too.
What is it called? Justice League?
Yeah.
What is it? Batman and his crew?
Aquaman's in there somewhere.
Oh, is he? Oh, is that Jason Momoa?
Yep.
Okay, so we have Jason Momoa,
Mm-hmm.
Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Who's Batman?
Maybe Ben Affleck.
You don't know?
I don't know. I didn't watch this. I don't watch
Okay, let's guess. Who else is in Justice League? Who else are the
Superman?
people? Oh my God, is that
played by
what's his
Harvey
face?
Keitel.
No, not Harvey Keitel. Who is it played by? It's that guy. He's so boring.
I think I do know who it is, but
Is it the
because I saw the
British
first
guy?
Superman, so it's like, but I don't know who he is. Like I don't know his name.
I'm just gonna look this up, and I'm gonna get upset because I think it's this one guy. With this one guy. Okay, Justice League. Let me
And
see.
Wonder Woman, I believe's in it, and that's Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. Oh, there it is. Henry Cavill.
Yeah. Also
This is
on Henry Cavill. Boo. Boo.
is Robin in it? Is Robin in the Justice League?
I don't know. Okay, let's see. We got Gal. It's Gal Gadot, I believe. Yeah, she's great.
I thought
We
it was
love her.
Gadot, but
Oh, Danielle's a fan of Henry Cavill. He's just not doing it. He just doesn't do it for me. I also like don't really care for Superman.
Superman is like, let's get religious. They say that God is just, it was like,
Yeah,
there was
here we
all
go.
these like tribes
Yeah.
or whatever being like, we have the God of water and there's all these hundreds of gods. And then finally it just built up because everyone's like, well, my God's better, my God's better. And then it turned into like the God like the Christians know nowadays where it's like, well, my God can do everything. And then that was Superman. They're like, oh, you can fly fast, you can run fast, you can see through things. Well, Superman can do everything. So
Also, let's
Superman's the
imagine
best.
Superman as Henry Cavill, okay? Who is
And
like
Snake King.
What? Snake
Snake
King!
King. Also mixing Superman and Jesus Christ somehow because wasn't he the Passion of the Christ?
Oh my God, my mom loved that movie.
So he played Superman twice.
Okay, Henry Cavill, it just doesn't do it for me. I think he's for
I
me,
get it.
I don't know
like,
him
he
allegedly.
looks classically attractive.
He looks like a pant load. I can't deal with it. I just
Sure.
feel like he would fly down to my house to help me and be like, "Hello," and I'd be like, "Ugh, go away."
Is he British?
Yes.
Okay. You kept saying it
Yes,
so
and
confidently, but
Snake
I'm
King,
like,
welcome. Where have you been? I hope that you're well. I hope things are okay. Yeah, Henry Cavill, like, just for some reason, like, I don't know. I didn't like that Superman movie either.
I did.
What was Amy Adams doing in that? It didn't make sense. It's
Well,
like
I didn't
Natalie
like the ending
Portman.
because it was like he would fly and like get thrown through a building and then across the city get thrown in the water. But like she kept running up being like, oh, and then she'd run to the other place. I'm like, how is she getting across the city? Like the traffic, you know?
And when Kevin Costner is his dad and gets wrapped up in the tornado,
That's the only part I liked. I was like,
He didn't, but he didn't need to be. He was just like, go, go, and everyone's like, you have time. You have time.
yeah.
And he's
Well,
like,
that's like Leo
"No."
falling off the door at the end, right? Like that's Leo at the end of Titanic. Being
Yeah.
like, just stay on the door.
Yeah.
Whatever that piece of wood is that's floating on, just stay on it. We all are questioning why you're dropping off.
Well, that's like Captain America, where Captain America, and honestly, I found an article and I was going to send it to you because it was the evolution of Bucky, which is what makes me so upset about Captain America, because all those movies is Chris Evans going like, dude, my friend Bucky. Everyone's like, I don't know, he seems a bit like we can't trust him. He's like, we can trust Bucky, and then Bucky's like, you can't trust me, and they're like, no. Then the second
Yeah.
movie.
He's
it's
the guy you
same
bring to the
thing.
cottage, and he's like, "Come on, we're gonna bring Bucky. He's fine. He's great." And then like midnight comes around, he's smashing windows, being like, "Let's fucking party!"
Yeah. And then the second cottage trip, Captain America's on the phone. He's like, it's Bucky. Come on, guys. Can he come? And we're like, we don't know. He
broke
trashed.
windows last time.
And
Chris.
he's like, I'm telling you, Chris, dude, I won't break
"It's
the window.
Cap. When we're at the cottage, it's Cap."
And he's like, Bucky swears he won't fuck up the cottage. He goes to the cottage again, breaks the hot tub by taking a shit in it. It's like, ruins the trip,
Not even by accident. Like he was squatted, standing on the side of it, just being like,
partying, going,
"Guys, check this out."
Bucky never dies while he's like downing 2 Molson exports and shitting in the hot tub. Then the third
He
year,
made a shirt that says "Bucky never dies" on it, his own name.
we're putting those in the merch shop. Then the third year, yet again, Cap comes and goes, hey guys, we go, don't you dare bring up Bucky. He's not coming to the cottage. And then Bucky just shows up.
Yeah. Hey guys, I got a car. Got a car now.
Yeah, how? Stole it. He stole it. I can't with Bucky. Those Captain America movies stink.
Anyways, I brought fireworks. Lots of them. I think they're indoor fireworks.
Jan, I zoned out for like a second. Who's Bucky? It's this character from Captain America who I just can't with. I
Yeah.
just cannot. I can't. And I like Chris Evans. I've come around to him.
Do you think Leonardo DiCaprio, like his character in Titanic, was just like he had a fling on a cruise, and then he's like, "I guess the cruise is over now. How do I break up with this woman?" And he just let go of the door. He's like, it's one of those things of like, he's like, "Oh God."
That's so funny to think about that he just he after romancing and chasing Kate Winslet was like, she's being a bit clingy on this cruise.
I mean, I don't want to break up with her, but like,
Dude, how was the cruise? Can I be honest with you guys for a second?
I pretended I died at the end of it.
She wanted me to paint her. Like, it was like crazy stuff.
At the time, it was awesome. But you know when you go on vacation and you're like in a different world and it's like your own world, but then you come back to reality and instantly she was like, this is kind of my board. And I was like, all right.
Yeah. And it was crazy. It was like there was no labels the whole trip. And then everyone was like, women and children, women and children. And I was like, I don't want a relationship with her past this.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm not going on that boat without you. And I was like,
what?
I would.
And I was like, we don't even live in the same cities.
Yeah. Like when we get to America, what did you think was going to happen?
Dude, she had like jewelry from another guy. Like I knew it was casual.
Your boyfriend is on this ship.
Yeah. And like she's saying like, how can we explain this to our families? I was like, I'm not to my family.
I haven't talked to my family in fucking 6 years.
You know. I'm basically an orphan.
You know my friend Rat. This is him telling a rat the whole time.
So there I am on the board, and I'm like, this is maybe it. Like maybe this is better for her. Like ultimately, I wish I could have just ended it, but.
And you know what's crazy? There was enough room on that board, and she didn't even. Yeah, like I let go, and she kind of like, she was so stuck in this romantic headspace that she thought I was dying for her. She thought that I just let it go.
Dude, I'm floating in the water. She can see me for a bit, okay? She's not reaching. She thinks I'm instantly frozen.
I had to wait for her to put her head down for a second to jump on a leather life raft.
And she didn't even look up. She's screaming. She's yelling. We were supposed to be married. Whatever. Yeah. Too much.
Titanic 2.
Jack explains. That would be so funny. Titanic 2. It opens and Jack, like this happy-go-lucky music's playing. He's buying a baguette. He's kissing women. He's free and easy.
Cut to that moment when he lets go of the board and they show it again. Ugh, that was fucking crazy, huh? Yeah, then they show him sneak onto a life raft across the way.
Yeah.
Put on a bonnet. Is she looking?
Oh no,
is she looking
I'm so
down?
scared.
The woman floating on that piece of wood over there. Is she looking? Okay.
Is she
Let me know when she's gone.
I mean, he could have easily swam away, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is, Stinking goes, wasn't there an explanation from James Cameron to why Jack never got on the board? First of all, that explanation is just him not realizing people think about that and then had to be like, well, actually, it was a creative choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is true. Jan goes, it's him sinking and then a record scratch. I bet you're wondering how I got here. Jen had it too.
Yeah.
With shades on. I bet you're wondering how I got here. Life's pretty crazy.
And then the Wolf of Wall Street starts.
He does a line of coke and he's just fanning himself with bills.
Meanwhile, the painting of her is behind him.
And then at the end of Wolf of Wall Street, we find out his computer password and it's Rose.
Oh yeah, and then they cut to like the old lady with the jewel just talking and being like, "That was my story." And then he walks in and goes, "Anybody? Oh no. Oh hey,
hey.
Probably have some explaining to do."
But you're old. It's clear I haven't aged. Probably the ice water.
I'm Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't age. I'm good.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's a chart of Leonardo DiCaprio and all the women that he's dated, and he has never gone above the age of 25.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's literally Matthew McConaughey's character in fucking Dazed and Confused.
All right. I hate when people do that. Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
You know,
it was fun for the first year after Dazed and Confused came out because everyone was like, "Yeah, that character is fun."
But I think we all know that. I think we've all been at a house party where some guy comes in. Maybe he has a bit of a Bucky energy.
Sure.
And he does something where he goes, all right. And you're like, oh, who is that guy? Yuck.
You know, it's hilarious though when it's like the tiniest guy at a party, like a little redheaded kid that's just like, "Hey guys, what's up?" All right. And you're like, "Yeah, Tim."
Tim, just pump the fucking brakes, okay? Jan goes, "Is Leonardo DiCaprio an improv teacher?" Hey-o. Well, I've certainly dated a few of those.
Well, Jen also said, I heard Leo's girlfriend is preggers.
Oh, wow. Oh, no. Leo's going to be really upset when his kid hits over 25. Wait, what do you mean? Everyone else in my life stays young.
Yeah, it's a daughter, and he's like, well, she can't live past 25, so I guess that's
You know
crazy.
how when women, when they hit like 26, they have to like walk off a cliff into the ocean forever? It's like, what? It is really crazy. I remember when I was married, like there was a distinct change in how I was viewed. Like I felt it. I felt it. I don't know if you felt it the second you got married, or maybe it's just women, but the second I had like wedding bands on my finger, I guess it'd be this hand, I've already forgotten, but it was an instant shift in how I was perceived. It was wild.
I remember being at the comedy bar one time, and I think that most of us were probably single, like we weren't married when we were doing that kind of stuff. And I saw one of the people that we kind of knew got married, and they jumped on stage, and I didn't think about it, but then so they did something like this, and I saw the wedding band, and it threw me off. I was like, oh, he's married. And then like it took me out of the thing. So I was like, yeah. So like, I don't know. I feel it sometimes when I'm like on stage, or if you have to do like go to an audition, and you're like waving your hands around, and you're like, oh,
especially you.
I know it because I know how big this is, and I'm like, oh,
you do know?
I have to know. It's hard to. My arm is so strong now from lifting this one.
I actually bet you that's a bit true.
Oh.
I actually bet that is a bit true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jen goes, I realized that men in senior positions at work treated me different when I was 35. It's been weird for me. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's a bit of a massive change. I feel it.
Oh, I don't know about this. This is the stuff I don't know about.
Like when I would go for auditions, I would take my wedding band off because not that I'm scared of aging. I mean, whatever, but it's like you were instantly like
perception changes with it just a little bit.
You were no longer like flirty and fun. Was never the perception. That you were young. Never a perception. Like that was gone.
I think I know that it's not the same, but I think there's also for guys there's a portion of that as well.
I think men actually become like sexier to some. Like it's like, oh my God, he's married. He loves his partner and he's wonderful. He's a romantic.
I see.
You don't have a good perception, I would say, of a close radius around you. I think you're not really reading the room.
What's going on here?
Yeah. Like there have been times where I'm like, Jason, what are you doing? And you're like, what do you mean we're having a good time? I'm like,
everybody's gone home.
That ATM is on fire. That's not even a human being. Why are you hugging them? You're on fire.
Yeah, I'm just calling Bucky. We're going to have a good time. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, Bucky. He said he's going to live forever. Jen says, you're not a hot young thing anymore, and they don't respect you, that you know your shit either. It's so true. Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry,
it's true.
Jen, that's terrible.
It is terrible. Yeah, it's very strange. Shayla says that she lost her engagement ring 1,000,000 years ago, and now I just don't wear a ring ever. That's sad. I mean, it's okay if you don't want to wear a ring, but like they lost a ring. Your hubs has got to buy a new one. That's the rules. See, Megan, this is interesting. Megan goes, job interviews honestly are different when I got a wedding band. Were they better? Like, did you find that it was like you could be taken seriously, or were you like, what was it? You don't have to share if you don't feel comfortable, but I'm just curious. Because I felt like sometimes when I had like my wedding band on, that like I was expected to be an adult, that I had like aged up, and I was like, I'm dumb. Like I just dumb as far as like adult things, like going to the bank, getting insurance. Yeah, taken more seriously. Megan says with the band. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We're not going to get into fittingly, we're not going to get into like the new segment we brought today. However, this kind of bleeds into one of the things we were doing was bringing a couple stories about like whatever, but I think there's one that I do want to get into. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Because it is, I don't know if you guys saw this. I'll play the video first and then you guys can see, because you probably saw this. It's been a while since we've talked. March Madness is going on for all of you that
TikTok?
care. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get into it.
For those of you who haven't seen it, this is what happened over the weekend. March Madness is a big basketball tournament. For those who don't know, it happens annually. It's the one that if you're in an office, you're probably in a pool for it because you're like, yeah, I could bet on that. Anybody wins. And then this lady came in.
I got something to show y'all. So for the NCAA March Madness, the biggest tournament in college basketball for women, this is our weight room. Let me show y'all the men's weight room. Now, when pictures of our weight room got released versus the men's, the NCAA came out with a statement saying that it wasn't money, it was space that was a problem. Let me show y'all something else. Here's our practice court, right? And then here's that weight room. And then here's all this extra space. If you aren't upset about this problem, then you're a part of it.
It was, first of all, like major appreciation to that woman for calling them out, because that's terrifying to do.
Of course, like that's the NCAA has been called out for many things because they're monsters to their players in a lot of ways. But like, I wouldn't want to be the one if I was in university and worked my ass off to get there, and now I'm on a team to be like, here's me calling you out. Which is
1,000%. That is disgusting, and it's like the gaslighting associated with that is. I'm not surprised. It always happens. It's disgusting and shocking. And it's like, what do you do? Like, she's going, hey, look, space is the problem? Here. Yeah. And then what are they doing now? Did they end up filling it?
They've fixed it up a bit. I haven't followed completely, but I know, like, well, because
now there's loose Gatorades around that they can pick up.
She's put out another TikTok being like, the women are now so happy that we've got a space to be like, I believe that's what she said. But like, it took that to literally call them out to do that. And it took also NBA players like Steph Curry right away was like, what the fuck's going on here, dudes? Like, it took some big names to be like to back her up immediately. But that's which is also terrible that it takes somebody of
and like
note
Jen said,
to back them up.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing, right? She just risked everything, and it's awesome that she was willing to do it. But then it also took celebrities or like, well, bigger known athletes, male athletes too, going, excuse me.
And as we say this, I'm also curious about the times that it failed, because this is the time we know about it because it succeeded, hopefully, into a sense of like the right outcome maybe came through in the end. Hopefully this woman's career is not wrecked in any way or whatever.
Jen saying they did put one together, but each men's team has their own workout room and the women all have to share one.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
To me, I was like, because my wife's the one that showed me this, and I was like, why is there different weight rooms in general? Like, why are they gendered anyways? Because they're all going to the same. These tournaments are played in like 6 locations. They bubble them in a location to play the March Madness, and they go great. But like, if they're at the same location, why aren't the women just using the same one as the men are using?
Because they made a male one. Because
that's what I'm saying. Why even do that? Why even do like whether they're comparable?
Because if that
or not.
is a problem, because if just the sheer fairness of the female team getting their own workout room is hard enough, do you think they would be welcomed into that space? Do you think that they would be allowed to use the equipment like men can use the equipment? Do you think that they would be able to?
That's already a problem, though.
Would they be able to prioritize? Would the men be able to prioritize that the women would also need the space? I highly doubt it. Have you ever been to a gym as a woman? It's a nightmare.
Do you want me to try that out, or would that be offensive? Do you want me to?
I would love for you to try that. I think if you and I went, we have the similar energy. Mm-hmm. I would go, hey, Jason, go try and use those weights over there by that big burly man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in a different way, I would be shunned. In a different way than you'd be shunned, I'd be shunned. They'd be like,
we would both be shunned, but for
me for reasons that should be existing. You know, he's like, you don't come to the gym, so don't. We're trying to work out over here.
Like, give me a break. Like Shayla said again, they were saying, hey, go work out in the men's space. It's like, give me a break. Like,
but don't call it the men's space. That was my initial reaction. I'm like, why is it called the men's space? Like, it's a gym. I've been to gyms that are
gyms.
Like, I know that there are gyms out there that are for women only, and I'm like, I understand why they exist too. Yeah, I understand why they exist. I guess that was just my first reaction. Was like, fuck, man. Like, why is there even separated? They're going to the same thing. Give them time slots and go, great. This is when your team goes there. This is when your team goes there. This is when your team goes there.
Because I feel like when I started going to the gym, and I can understand people's, I don't feel good in a gym. I would need someone who knows the terrain, because if you're new, the fear of going to a gym is huge. And so I think that's why I would only use like the treadmill and like the elliptical, because in your mind, it's like
the training wheels is overpay for one of those personal trainers the first like 2 times or 3 times. And then they'll walk you through a thing. And then you get like a routine going and be like, I know what I'm doing. I've been told by
I think it's also bullshit that like when you sign up for a gym, like I had to get like a personal trainer, which was some like loser dude who just told me how I was bad at everything. And I know he's trying to sell his own work. So then I feel like incapable of using a gym and I would need his services.
Yeah.
That is not a unique experience, but like men are brutal in the gym. They think they know everything. And if you're like wanting to lift weights, especially, give me a break.
Yeah.
I think that's bullshit. And I think I'm glad that she did that. But it's like I also hold that that's so nerve wracking. And there was a lot of stakes in her saying that, especially because she's a woman.
But like the one reason I brought it too is like picture the person that literally brought that A-framed rack in and go, ugh.
His name's Bucky and he took a shit in a hot tub the night before. And I can tell you that.
Oh, the women want a gym? Here, I brought this from my garage. Here you go.
I put the 3 pounds on. I put the 3-pounders on the top. Okay, so you little ladies and you cute little mussies, okay, they can get as big as you want, but not too big if you want a partner. Do you know what I'm talking about?
You guys want to see me do a handstand? I can do a fucking handstand, no problem. Whoop.
Oh God, I can't with it. Rob says, when I started going to the gym, I was supposed to have a free personal training session. It ended up being the assistant manager shaming me about my eating habits. Brutal.
Yeah, just lie about your eating habits, you know?
Oh, yeah. You go, yeah, I have some snacks. You don't say like, oh, I destroyed a bag of freaking Doritos last night. Jen says, it's in the NCAA charter that money has to be spent equally between male and females, and they did not do that. They're just being held accountable. Isn't it crazy that that has to be a rule?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And what is this? Midnight?
It says gym fails, like gym fail videos proves that men don't know, because there's lots. Yeah.
If you want to share your name, you can. No worries. But Midnight, KR3.
Midnight's around all the time.
No,
on
I
the
know,
Discord
but
constantly.
I know. On the Discord, MVP. But I've just never been like, you know, you have your username. You can't just be like, what's your name? Megan says, oh, my favorite is men who show off, and I'm an occupational therapist. And I'm like, you're going to break your back doing that. That's the best.
I did at a gym, but I was by myself. I wasn't trying to show off to anybody except myself.
You were by yourself. You were at on a trip with friends, and you decided to.
But my friends were in bed, and I was literally in the gym by myself. I was in because I had to walk out of there, and I couldn't walk, and I had to get up by myself out of that gym.
Jenny also says the swag bags at March Madness, the swag bags for men were super huge and dope, and the women got pretty much nada. It's such bullshit. It's such BS. I mean, listen, you know, you get me in there. I'm going to have some words. I just get paid by donation. I just go, hey, link to my PayPal's on the back of my shirt if you're liking the work I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we launch our beer business, you wait till I get in there, you know, little bulldog. Just, that's my new career. Hire me.
You do this when you bought a car too with your father, and like we need that energy. We need that energy when we go talk to Angela at the bank.
When we go talk to Angela at the bank, there's no problem. I'll tell you, my dad was so proud of me. I somehow got a crazy deal on that car, and I broke a man. And to see him shattered smoking a cigarette because he needed one, beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want you to give me the keys in your teeth. Thank you.
I just love when he was like, so what's your down payment? And I was like, no, I don't think so. Like, money down is, you expect to put money down. You expect to put money down when you buy a car.
You put no money down?
None. Dude, the deal I got on that car.
It's better to put money down because then you don't pay interest at all on it.
Yeah, but like you can, but I worked it because if you're, again, a freelance person, you can't guarantee how much money you have all the time. So it was like, anyways, long story short, who cares about logistics? But it was like tax season was coming. Like I'm also not good financially. So I was like, I don't know what I have in the bank. I don't know what I can give you. I definitely need a car. So you're just going to give me it. And that's just what's up. And guess what? He went, that's what's up. Yeah. You know what? I got a great tactic. I think I've said this before, but we are talking about business today. Is like the ability to know your worth and stand up and always be ready to leave was the biggest negotiation tip I had received.
Yeah.
Yeah. You stand, if you're like,
if you can walk away from it, then that's great. Then you have the upper hand.
Yeah. If you can walk away from it, it is like, I was just like, okay. And you know what else I did when I was looking for a car? I was like debating between a few cars. And so I was at like, I don't know if this is just I think this is everywhere. You know those like car alleys where it's just like car dealership, dealership. So they all want you to buy a car. So they're all texting me while I'm getting this car. And I was like, listen, like they're willing to go. So I was like, well, so-and-so is going to give me blah, blah, blah. What are you going to give me?
Yeah. That's what
then I'm like,
we were told to do too, because it's like you can go around and go to different dealerships and be like, well, they did this. And they said they were going to do this. And if you get it in writing.
I got it in writing, and then I would be like, well, I'm going to go to I'm going to go to Nissan. I'm going to go to whatever. And then I'd be like, okay, well, like Corey from Nissan is saying that this actually is doable. So I'm wondering why that's not happening here.
Then they have to all go to like the same cafeteria together. Like all the people in different dealerships. And they're like, Corey, did you tell her that fucking happened? Stop fucking writing customers that, man. And Corey's a little shit. He's a little Bucky being like, I wasn't going to give it to her, but I knew she wasn't buying from us. So fuck that.
They're like all eating sandwiches being like, did anyone else look at her dad thinking he was getting the car first? And everyone's like, lesson learned, fellas.
Lesson learned.
My dad I remember driving home and he was just like, holy shit. I was scared.
He's in the basement later eating loaded rogues, just being like, fuck, my daughter's a fucking banshee. I'm
exhausted. I'm tired from what I saw today.
I feel like I gotta send that guy an apology card.
There's just nothing funnier than like I was wearing a blazer that was like it was just like an old shitty blazer, just being like, don't look at him. He's here for lunch. I'm here for a car. Okay?
Also, where's his lunch?
I took my dad out for lunch. I got him wings.
Yeah, but I thought you meant like he's here for the free donuts that are on the fucking table over there. He's come for the donuts and the coffee.
Rob goes, there's a support group for car salesmen who had to help you. They meet in a church basement once a month. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's very funny. But not in my new business. We're going to respect Angela. We're going to get a bank loan. Megan says, I also get my loan approved prior to walking into a dealership so they can't give an outrageous interest rate. That is huge intel from Megan.
I thought you were reaching for the horns, but you were reaching for a fart, because a fart on this podcast is a positive.
It's a positive because it's like these freaking people, like when you have to go into these negotiations, especially as a woman, it's like they're going to be like, oh, you want a little beep beep toot toot drive around the little city? It's like, okay.
You know who they should be talking to like that? This guy.
You. Exactly. And you're like, yeah, wouldn't mind a boop boop teet teet.
Yeah. Sunroof. Fuck yeah. Okay, I'm in.
I think me and the family would, I think a Fiat would comfortably fit all three of us. We're sort of small. We're all 5'7"-ish. I think that'll be good. Yeah.
We're as tall as Stacey McGonigal. Do you know her? And then the guy just starts crying. No.
He just starts smoking 3 cigarettes from both sides of his mouth.
Never heard of her.
Never heard of her, but I have lived through her.
Do you remember that really old viral video that was the dog that had PTSD? And it was like they put a cupcake onto his face and then it just staring with big eyes and they flash back to like war highlights.
I want to just say this though. Like, yes, that I did get that car and I did take the advice of the negotiation and I was like stone cold. Okay. Like even like, but when I was in the car, I was like, that was so hard. Like it was like the relief of it. I was like, is this okay? It's really scary.
You got it.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very funny stuff. Well, I feel really empowered this today. Maybe on Wednesday we will do some more stories. I really like them.
Yeah.
And if you have any themes or things you want us to talk about, let us know. I would love to hear if there's anything you want us to break down and sort of chat together. Go ahead.
Democracy, not a dictatorship. We listen to you guys.
No, yeah, and I just feel like let's break some taboos. What do you want to know about? You know?
Yeah.
I think people are talking about bumper stumpers, which is hilarious to end this on. I
The
remember
Canadian
watching that
game show. Yeah.
The Canadian. I loved bumper stumpers. You have to guess the license plates.
Yeah.
I think that's why I deep down do not like vanity plates.
Gary Pearson was on it, and Gary had really long hair at it. I remember he had like I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, he had like a mullet sort of thing going on at the time.
He did.
Yeah.
Gary Pearson, host of Bumper Stumpers. We'll be back on Wednesday. Super, super excited. Thank you, everyone, for being in the chat, being honest today, putting your stuff out there. The tips and all that is so welcomed. We adore you all. Do we have anything to say before we go to?
I don't think so. I think I'm just glad we're back. It felt like forever.
We have an upcoming comedy show coming up on our Patreon. So that'll be this Friday. So if you want to join us for a little fun comedy time, you can sign up there and you can get all the back catalog content we've already created on there. And yeah, we will see you all on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Pals.